Welcome back, dear friends. The journey of Day and Huyen continues gentle yet profound, like a quiet stream winding its way through the corners of life. Together, they've stepped into a new chapter filled with hope, love, and a deep belief in the goodness that lies ahead. But this journey isn't just theirs. It belongs to all of us who believe in the power of kindness, compassion, and human connection. If this story touches your heart, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We hope this episode brings you joy, stirs your emotions, and maybe even leaves your heart a little quieter in the best way. Thank you for being here. You make this community truly special. The summer heat hung heavy in the air, and even the rare breeze slipping past the worn-out porch did little to break the silence. Adam sat quietly on the familiar wooden steps, his gaze lost in the endless sky above. Memories crept in, like an old film playing in slow motion, afternoons filled with Dee's carefree laughter, Huyen's gentle silhouette by the window, and the haunting softness in Tuvi's eyes. His heart tightened. I wonder when I'll ever see Day and Huyen again, he whispered to himself, letting out a deep sigh. They were once everything he could call family. But now, there was only the wind and the buffaloes in the field to keep him company. That day, Adam made a quiet decision to embrace this new chapter of life alone, with the wide-open plains and his animal companions as his only solace. He didn't complain. He didn't cry out. He simply walked forward, carrying the weight of solitude on his shoulders. But what Adam didn't know was that just beyond the old door of the home he once knew Day and Huyen had returned, coming back to visit their mother. Fate has a strange, quiet way of weaving lives together. Sometimes we think things are lost forever, when in truth, they've simply been waiting for the moment our hearts are still enough to truly feel their return. Under the shade of an old mango tree, the soft giggles of little Maya danced through the summer air, blending with the cheerful barks of her loyal pup, Bibi. She skipped across the yard, her floral dress fluttering like petals in the breeze, eyes sparkling with the kind of innocence that only follows a passing rain. Bibi stayed close by, as if he knew deep down that this little girl was something precious, a gift life had brought into their peaceful home. Inside, the mood was tender and warm. Huyen sat beside Adam's mother, their hands gently clasped, sharing the quiet strength of trust. Adam's mom, who had grown used to waiting, had eyes rimmed with emotion. The lines on her face told stories of seasons past, and her silvery hair shimmered like time itself, bearing witness to years spent apart from her son. "You don't need to worry anymore," Huyen said softly, her voice trembling with sincerity. "Adam is doing well. He's working hard for his employer, and everyone loves him." Adam's mother gave a small nod, biting her lip to hold back tears. "You two traveled so far. Please stay for a while. I'll go make some rice. This house needs a little joy again." As she stood, Dee looked around quietly, his eyes drifting over the dusty walls and sun-worn windows of the old house. He asked gently, "Did Adam have a younger brother?" "Oh." She turned back with a soft smile. "He's at school right now." Without a word, Dee reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn cloth bundle. Inside the savings, Adam had carefully set aside one coin at a time through hard work and humble living. He placed it in her hand, and said with respect, "Ma'am, Adam asked me to bring this home. He said it's for medicine and rice." Her hands trembled as she took it. And then came the smile, one only a mother can give when her child, even from afar, shows that he still cares. A tear slipped down her hand, not from sorrow, but from the quiet pride that comes from a love that endures. Out in the yard, Maya had set her books on a small table beneath the tree. In the golden glow of afternoon sun, she read aloud, her little legs swinging in rhythm with each word. Dee walked over, crouched beside her, and asked softly, "Do you like it here, sweetheart?" Maya looked up, her eyes like polished gems. "I love it," she said, with a bright, honest smile, the kind that makes the world seem new again. Dee watched her for a long moment. In his eyes was more than affection. There was hope. Maya wasn't just a child, she was the seed of something better. A reminder that even after pain, loss, and long silences, there's still a future worth building, with love, with kindness, and with healing. As the sun dipped behind the mossy rooftop, smoke began curling up from the old kitchen stove. The scent of freshly cooked rice, simmered fish, and warm broth drifted through the air, wrapping around everyone like a long-awaited embrace. Everything that once felt distant, faded, or forgotten had come back to life, because sometimes coming home isn't just about returning. It's about beginning again, right where love never left. The late afternoon breeze drifted lazily through the countryside, carrying with it the soft scent of fresh herbs and the gentle chill of an approaching sunset. Down a narrow dirt path in the backyard garden, Huyen and Adam's mother strolled slowly between rows of vibrant green vegetables. Their hands moved with ease, picking herbs, gathering leafy greens, and every now and then they exchanged quiet smiles, like a mother and daughter who had known each other for years. "Adam told me," Huyen said softly, brushing a tender leaf between her fingers, "that if work allows, he'll come visit soon." Adam's mother paused for a moment, her eyes gazing far into the horizon. "If he comes back," she said, voice hushed, "it would mean the world to me. It's been so long. I miss him dearly." Her voice was raspy and a bit shaky, like someone speaking through layers of time and memories long tucked away. Inside the small kitchen, the flicker of a wood fire stove cast a golden glow on Huyen's face. Her hair shimmered gently in the warm light as familiar scents began to fill the room. Steamed rice, fresh vegetables, caramelized shrimp, and golden fried eggs. She cooked not out of routine, but with care, each dish seasoned with the kind of love that turns a simple meal into a memory. Out on the porch, laughter rang out. Maya darted joyfully through the garden, followed closely by no longer the quiet man he once was, but someone lighter, brighter in her presence. He bent down, picked a bunch of wild purple flowers, and handed them to Maya. She received them like treasure eyes, wide and sparkling. From the kitchen, Huyen's voice floated through the air, warm and inviting. "Dinner's ready to Maya, come wash up." As Dee stepped inside, the smell of home-cooked food wrapped around him like an embrace. He smiled, his voice full of admiration. "You've really outdone yourself. Just looking at this spread is making me hungry." Adam's mother took a seat, her face beaming with quiet joy, though she still carried the gentle humility of someone who had lived simply all her life. "Please eat as much as you like. There's not much here, but it's all yours." Huyen bowed her head with gratitude. "Thank you, ma'am. This isn't just dinner to me. It feels like a real family meal." The dishes were humble: steamed greens, sautéed shrimp egg omelets, and a pot of soup. But the warmth they carried was immeasurable. Around the table, the chatter was light, the laughter frequent, and the soft clinking of chopsticks against bowls felt like music in the quiet kitchen, lit only by the flickering glow of an old oil lamp. Maya put her hands together, her little voice as polite as could be. "Thank you for the meal, Grandma." "Thank you, Mom." In that moment, time seemed to pause. Peace didn't come from the walls of the house, but from the people within it, from the laughter, the kindness, and the genuine love shared across generations. Night gently settled in, and the breeze turned cooler. The dim golden light inside the kitchen now felt even warmer. Huyen sat back for a moment, quietly observing the ones she loved most. She placed a hand on her heart, and a quiet wish rose within her, a simple dream. If only life could stay like this, with laughter, loved ones, home-cooked meals, and hearts that still believe in love. She didn't say it aloud, but something had quietly taken root inside her. A feeling, a truth. That real happiness isn't somewhere far away. It's right here, right now. Along a quiet red dirt road winding through distant mountain slopes, Tuvi walked alone. Her small frame seemed almost swallowed by the vastness around her, the rustling trees, the open skies, the whispering wind. Each step she took felt like a gentle goodbye to memories that had long since faded, unfinished days, silent wounds she had hidden deep in her heart. But her mind was made up. Tuvi was leaving this place, leaving the southern sun, and all the bittersweet memories it held. She was going home, back to the north, back to where she believed she could begin again. She no longer searched for reasons to stay in a story that no longer belonged to her. The wind picked up, catching her hair and tossing it in every direction. She closed her eyes, breathed in deeply, and let the wind carry away the weight of what once was. Inside her, waves of emotion surged, part sorrow, part relief. A quiet ache, but also a strange kind of lightness, like freedom. She smiled softly, though her eyes were still rimmed with red. "I'll take the best of it with me," she thought, "and leave behind what was never mine to carry." Far away, she knew that Day and Huyen were doing well, living their own lives, continuing their journey. And somehow, even after all these years apart, Tuvi believed she'd see them again one day, not to pick up the pieces of what once was, but to smile as old friends who had once shared a season of youth and walk through it together. The train heading north would leave at dawn. On that train, Tuvi would sit by the window with a small suitcase, a few clothes, an old notebook, and a heart no longer burdened by regret. She didn't know exactly what awaited her, but this time she wasn't afraid, because she had chosen forgiveness, not just for others, but for life itself. And most of all, for herself. And maybe, just maybe, at the end of that long road somewhere in the chill of a northern winter, was the beginning she always deserved.
Chào mừng các bạn thân mến đã quay trở lại. Hành trình của đêm đầu tiên chúng ta tiếp tục nhẹ nhàng và sâu lắng như một suối nhỏ len lỏi qua từng góc đời và đã cùng nhau bắt đầu một cuộc sống mới. Mang theo biết bao hy vọng, yêu thương và niềm tin. Khi điều tốt đẹp đang chờ phía trước thì chính đấy không chỉ là ta chỉ lặng lẽ bước tiếp với một nỗi cô đơn khoác lên vai.